Welcome to the second season of the Deployment Dojo. This is episode 4 of a live show where we introduce and discuss software installation topics to make you a better setup ninja. I'm your host, Rob Menching, and joining me once again is my very good friend and first student of the dojo, David Edson. David, how you doing, my man?
Pretty good. How are you?
All right. So I think all of our audio issues are worked out that we had problems at the beginning of this month. So we could go ahead and take this show, even though it's not our usually scheduled time. But those of you that are watching this recording don't care about any of that anyway. All right. David, I feel like we've worked our way through a bunch of the basics, the properties, the items, the targets, and imports. There's one more basic thing that we need to work on in MSBuild before we get into the more subtle pieces of MSBuild, we'll say. More of the trickier parts and more of the powerful parts.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So today we're going to be talking about conditions and how you can change the flow of how you can react and change the flow of your build process by evaluating conditions, by making basically if statements. And we're going to go through the basics. A lot of it works the way you would expect it to. And then there's a couple gotchas that I want to cover at the end. Little things that are weird because, of course, it's MSBuild. There has to be things that are weird. All right. Should we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right, here we are in our code, ready to go. I have decided not yet to come up with a standard template yet. We are still starting from scratch just because I like that because it kind of gets us all centered into what we're doing here. And again, showing you there's no tricks. Plus, everything we've done is so basic, we can bring up everything that we need pretty quick. All right, top and bottom is project. And then we usually have been creating a property group. So, hey, look, I'm getting some decent autocomplete for once. I don't know. Oh, no, see, still got a double dangle. All right, whatever. All right. And we'll call this prop A and, foo for now, prop A. And that's wonderful. We have our property, doesn't do anything until we have a target. So let's go ahead and give our target a name. Target 1, we're going to number them. And then we're going to do our very happy trick. I'm going to do the importance equals high, so it shows up nice and bright. And the text will equal prop A equals $, because it's a property, prop A. All right, that looks normal, pretty typical, right, David?
Yep.
About the simplest target. When we're here, we'll do a clear screen and MSBuild. And this is the only project file inside this directory. It's a project file because it ends in PROJ. And when we build it, it runs. And we see that by default, our target 1 runs. And we have prop A equals foo. Great. We have printed out the value foo for our command. Woohoo. Nothing
Nice.
too exciting. Right. All right. Now, let's go ahead and we've got the basics. This is almost like a Kata at this point, right? I could type these fast enough. Item group. Now I don't get IntelliSense. All right. And I'm getting all kinds of help. What is that? All right. Item group. We're going to call this item X. We'll go to the other end. And items are defined with their include. So we can say, hey, include this thing. Let's go ahead and include our proj file itself as item X. And then in our message, we will do the same thing. Here, importance high, except instead of prop A, we will say item X. And because it's an item, it's not $, it's @. And there we go. And I'm still getting the autocomplete fighting me. All right, we run this. We should get 2 messages. Prop A is foo, item X is dojo.proj. Cool.
Is the importance coming across?
Yeah, the importance? Yeah, it's high. So if I take the importance out, one will have importance and one will not. You will see the second one is a little darker.
More clear. Okay, got it.
Just a little more clear on this font. I mean, it's nice because when you have a large build that's spitting out lots of information, the normal messages are the intent is that they like blend in the background and go away.
Right.
And then the important ones stick out as the bright white. That's the theory behind it anyway. Gotcha. We, of course, could be doing errors and message, warnings and things like that, but we want everything to continue. So there we go. Woohoo. We have a target 1 that prints out 2 messages. No big deal. Okay. Conditions. Now, let's say that we want to control various parts of this, that we don't always want it to run from top to bottom doing the same thing because, well, that is kind of boring. It turns out MSBuild is pretty nice. It allows you to put condition just about everywhere. Okay. So let's say that we want to have a condition and say only show our property. Let's see. I need no, all right, we're gonna come up with another property. Okay. I need a second property here to base it off another property. Okay. Prop B bar. There we go. That'll go together. Prop B. All right. Yay. You can put a condition on it. Condition equals, and the spacing inside here does not matter. I put extra spacing usually because, as you're going to see, we're going to have lots of quotes and double quotes and all that kind of stuff. So I put a little space between everything just so it's a little easier to see. Technically speaking, you can squish this all into one single line. So you quote, I let you quote, and I'll explain why we want to quote these things in the end. Double equals foo. All right.
All right.
So looking at that, hopefully based off of any normal programming language in the vein of C, C#, JavaScript, all those, that double equals doesn't surprise you, as that means is equivalent to, not assign this value to that, right?
Right.
So it'll run along, it'll look at this prop B and say, hey, if the condition of prop A is foo, then go ahead and assign prop B a value. Okay. So we run this, what do we expect to see?
Same thing.
Same thing. Well, yeah, I think you might have missed. I did type prop B down here in my messages.
Oh, okay. So
hopefully we'll see prop B down here, right? Because I said foo, foo, foo. Everything should be the same. Boom. And look, there it is. All right. So let's break it. We'll change foo to full. There you go. Now it does not match. Foo, foo. Clear screen, build again. And look, prop B is no longer defined. Okay. Everybody's like, woo, yay, good job. That's the way conditions work. All right. Cool. Cool. Easy. Now we can do the same thing. Conditions on our items. Okay. So I'll put the condition on here. We'll keep it the same. We'll make it all the same. So we can change prop A foo here. Do a clear screen, MSBuild, go. And now you have prop A foo. We still have everything here. As soon as I change this to foot, different word, neither item X nor prop B are defined.
Okay. Yep.
All right. All right. All right. Cool. That's what I would expect it. Okay. And this is kind of getting annoying that, hey, here we are putting out these blank lines. These things aren't defined. Well, that's helpful for debugging to see that. But let's say we don't want to print out those lines. Well, messages let us do the same thing. We can put a condition on them. I'll bring it down here. Condition equals quote, quote. All right. Put our quotes around our item X this time. All right. Oh, and this time we're going to say does not equal blank. If it does not equal blank, go ahead and show this message.
Okay.
All right. So prop A is foot, does not equal this condition. Therefore, we'd expect item X to be blank. Therefore, we'd expect this condition to be false, as in it is not. It is blank. Therefore, this condition is false. So this message should be conditioned away if everything works normally.
A, B, nothing else. Yeah.
A, B, and item X is gone. All right. At this point, everybody's like, yeah, this is great. This is working exactly like you would expect it to. All right. Let's just go for completeness sake. I could put this on any of these messages, and most tasks like message support this. I could also put it on the target. I could put a condition on my target here. So if prop A equals foo, then show this target. Otherwise, don't do anything. Notice prop A still is foot. I've put this condition. It's going to be false. When I run this now, it doesn't do anything. It does not fail. It does not fail because the target exists. A target does exist. Remember, if we have no target at all, I'll delete this real quick.
Yep.
And we run it. That's an error. Okay. So
right.
The target is there. It's just conditioned out. So it was made MSBuild happy. You had a target. It could run it. It was just false and chose not to run it. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going quick because I hope everybody's like, yeah, this totally makes sense. No surprises at all. All right. Let's say we have item X and item Y in here. Does not exist.text, my favorite. Take the condition off of here and you're like, look, I don't want any of these items. if prop A is full. You could take it and put it up on your item group. So you can condition out a whole bunch of things all in one go. Prop A, if it equals foo, go ahead and give me item X and item Y. I am going to print out item Y since we're introducing it, because if I forget, then that, and I'm not going to have a condition on that one just because. And I'm going to temporarily take the condition off of that one. All right, we're going to comment it out, so I'll keep it around just in case I need. Whatever, I don't need to keep it. I have a whole bunch of copies of it around here. All right. Okay, so what do? We added another item in here. We took the condition off the item X, moved it to our item group. So now we can say, hey, this whole group is controlled by this condition, prop A equaling foo. All right?
Right.
Boom. Whoa, that did not do what I thought it was going to do. Oh, yes, it did. I forgot. I took the condition off target. So it ran, item X is missing, and item Y is blank. Item X is missing from our output because of its condition, and item Y is blank because the condition is false. So this item Y had no items added to it. Cool?
Cool.
All right. You want to make it bit that works up here too?
I'm sure it does. It better.
It better, right? That would be really nice if it did work up here as well. Okay. Now we're going to do a clear screen, MSBuild, run all of this, and we're going to get prop foo does not equal that. So we get our target's still running because I took the condition off of it. And then it runs and notice prop A has no value. None of these things have a value.
Yep.
Okay. Now we're going to set prop A to foo here, and then we're going to run it. And it's still false. Why did none of this get set? I set prop A to foo.
I'm looking.
Prop A is equal to foo. Prop A equal to foo. The answer is the condition is evaluated before the property group is evaluated. Prop A is not set at all.
Oh,
here.
So should you not use them in the property groups like that?
You probably shouldn't do this. This self-referential is never going to turn out well for you.
Yeah.
All right. So we could do this, though. Bring it up. Let's see. Property group. And we could bring our prop A here. Yeah, we'll do that in a second. I'm going to take this out for a second. All right, so now we have prop A defined, property group after it, item group, target one, all that good stuff. So now prop A does equal foo. We can run through our conditions, and hopefully we see a whole bunch of data now show up because now prop A is set to foo.
Right.
Ta-da, all of our data shows up. All right.
Okay.
Now, if we change this back to something else, prop A is still set at the top, and then nothing else is true. All right, so the basics, the simple, that sort of thing works as you would expect it to. Oh, this target's getting not terribly interesting. Let's go ahead and create a new file called target1.targets. Remember, we create project files that if we put targets in them, we call them targets files.
Yes, the convention.
The convention, exactly. Don't have to. We could call it anything. But we don't want to call it end.proj because otherwise it will conflict with ours. Okay, so I'm going to move it out here. All right, that's all good. Dojo proj. And then we do our import of project equals target1.targets. Ooh, I could spell. There we go. Target1 targets, go here. Clear screen. I didn't do anything except move the target into a targets file. We should get the same thing. Everything works. Foo is set, and it all flows down.
Yep.
All right, cool. Now, let's take our property, and let's move it down. Let's not have it be defined before these conditions that are evaluating it. You want to take a guess at what it does?
I'm trying to remember if it mattered whether you moved the property groups around like that. I don't think it did. Did it?
Properties, then items, and then targets are executed, and inside the targets, they're in order. However, within a project file, properties and items are evaluated in order, all the properties in order and that. So if we run this, we get prop A equals foo. Prop B did not get set because foo was set after it, and the item group does get set to its values because items are evaluated after the property. There
Okay.
you go. That's a summation of everything we've done like up to this point. If that makes sense, you know you've kind of got something, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So why did it work? Prop A is down here. So the first thing we do is we load our project file, and we are going to load it in order. And then we'll do the import at the end. So we'll look at that one too. So here we go through, we look at this property group. And since property groups are evaluated during the initial evaluation of the project, this property group comes up and says, is this condition true? No, because we have no prop A at all at this point in time. So prop B does not get set to anything. This item group is like, all right, we're going to come back for the items. We're first going to do all the properties. Then we get this property group. It does get set to foo. So now prop A does equal foo. And then we go into our targets. There's no props in here and no items. Then we come back around as we're going through and go, okay, now do all items. Is prop A defined? Yes, because properties were evaluated first before items. So now all the items are being done. So even though the items come after the property, they're evaluated in a second pass. So these are defined, and we see them both here. And then we go into our targets, and then we run inside here.
Okay.
That was kind of a tricky question. So that's, hopefully this really drives home the fact that properties are first, items are second, and then targets are implemented or are executed, and they are done in order inside. Cool.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Yep. Cool.
All right. This is a little bit of a crazy situation. So let's go ahead and put it back to be more normal. Okay. And then let's talk about target conditions for a little bit. All right. So we're going to go into our target one. And I'm going to create a target. We'll just copy this guy. Target 1A. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to then do a condition on it that because we know we can now. And the condition is we're just going to stick the same condition. Prop A tilde is equal to foo. So target 1A will run, and then we will display the message target 1A was here. All right. Okay, great. That target will not run unless you run it explicitly, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Clear screen, this target 1A, right?
Right.
We can run that one target that we just added. So our project will load. We'll evaluate our property and come into our import, figure out these things. By default, we would run target 1 because it's first, but because we're explicitly asking for a target, we're going to run 1A. And it is set to if prop A equals foo, so we run it, and it does its thing. Target 1A runs, and everything's good. Cool?
Gotcha. Yep.
You're like, yep, totally. That's exactly what I expect. I'm going to change prop A to no longer be foo. We run it again, and everything works correctly. Our target does not run because it is. When this is foot, this says it must be foo. Therefore, the target does not run. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. Keep it foo. Now, hopefully, this behavior will not surprise us. But we need to then kind of dig into this one a little bit. All right. So target 1A depends on targets. Sorry, target 1 depends on targets 1A. That means target 1A will run before target 1. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right? Because target 1 says I depend on targets 1A. So he will make sure that 1A is run before him. And then we're going to see how this condition falls into the mix. All right.
Okay. And you're just going to run both. You're just going to run it.
And I'm going to run it
right?
normally. So I'm going to go run target 1. Yes, good point.
Okay.
And
So
here I've put prop A back to foo.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and run MSBuild, no targets, which means we're going to run target 1, which is then going to run target 1A. It's going to check its condition. Prop A is foo. We run it, and target 1A was here.
Yep.
Yay, everybody's happy. Cool. So let's change it back to not foo. We're going to do the exact same thing again. This time, prop A will not equal foo, and we run it again. What do we expect to happen?
Yeah, target 1A was not here in this case.
It's going to get no message there. So target 1 says, I need to run target 1A. Target 1A is like, I'm happy to be here, but I'm conditioned out, so I do nothing. Skips it completely. And then target 1 finishes running.
Okay, it still runs the target one. Okay.
Target one still runs. He depends on them, but if they don't run, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
It's
So,
like, that's fine. They were there, right? Hey,
so the
so
depends on is basically just forcing the other target to run first.
make sure that that other target runs first. Correct. That's
It's not
the
like
important
a run if exists type of thing. That's not
Yeah,
what it
in
is.
fact, let's do this. We still have prop A set to foot. We're going to add
Right.
another depends on targets for target 1B. It's not defined. There is no target 1B in this space. And let's go ahead and run that. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So prop A is foot. So target 1A will not run because it does not equal foo. If we run this, boom, target 1B does not exist in project. Target 1 targets at line 4, column 11, ask for a target 1B and it does not exist. Okay.
Okay.
So if you listed the targets that you depend on, they have to exist. They have to do their thing. If they do not exist, you will get error messages. All right. So now this is the one that I never remember and I always have to run an experiment, believe it or not. We're going to do it again. Target 1A depends on target 1B. Target 1B was here. I'm going to take the condition off of target 1B. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to change property A back to foo. All right. So target 1 depends on target 1A. Target 1A depends on target 1B, but target 1A has a condition saying prop A must be foo. And then target 1B just says, hey, I was here.
Okay.
All right. So prop A equals foo. We're going to run this and see what we get.
So BA1, is it
Yes,
running? Okay.
exactly. Target 1B, target 1A, and then target 1 ran. Everybody's happy.
Okay.
Cool. What happens when we change it so the condition of target 1A is false? So now this condition is false. Target 1A is now conditioned out, conditioned away, set not to execute. What do you think we're going to get?
But B is still there.
Yep, B doesn't have. Yep, B is still here. Has no condition. It's still there.
If I would have to run it, but I guess I'm going to guess the same. It still was going to go 1B, 1A.
Well, 1A. So to be clear, the condition of prop A is
Well, it'd be blank.
a foot. So yeah. So
yeah. Well, it won't be there. So
I always have to run this
B1.
again because I have to double check because I never remember. Like I always have to think like, which is it? My bet, and I have not run this in a long time, so my memory is a little off. I think only target 1 is going to be set. Target 1 is the only thing that's going to run in
So
there.
you won't even see 1B, huh?
Yeah. Ready?
Okay. Oh,
Yay!
okay.
I was right. All right. Why does that make sense? Because target 1 says, I depend on target 1A. Target 1A says, hey, I'm conditioned out. So while I do depend on target 1B over here, I'm conditioned out, so the dependencies stop here. I'm here, but I do not participate, which also means that anything I depend on does not participate either. Okay? So as a way of saying, hey, at this point, if you put a condition on a target, all of its depends on will not execute. Okay?
So, okay. So if you put a target 1C in there and didn't have a depends on, it would still run
Where? Where do you want me to put it?
like under 1B. Like,
Sure. Let's do it. Target 1C.
Yeah. And so it still go, you'll get 1 and then you'll get C.
No, because we only run one target in a target file.
Oh, okay. So that it'll run 1 and nothing, huh? At this
Yes.
point.
At this point, assuming prop A is still foot, therefore, yes, we will only get that one. Target 1C is available, but nothing depends on it. So it just hangs out in there until the day that we finally call it into action. Target 1C.
Gotcha. So using that depends on, if you condition something out, then that's it. Then
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. I think this was the session that you were on vacation, and I think Bob ran shotgun with me on this one. Yes. Gotcha. So there are a little bit of details here. So that's conditions on targets. Hopefully that behavior makes sense. Like that's not surprising, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, cool. So one of the things I really like about MSBuild is that you could put condition pretty much everywhere. You you can also put a condition here. I forgot one. And when I say everywhere, I did mean everywhere. Yes. Prop A is equivalent to foo. Let me bring on a new line here. All right. So now my import has a condition of prop A on foot. All right. So I'll set this back to foo. That prop A. Now my targets, this values to false. My target should come in.
Yep.
Right. Oh, go back to no explicit target. Just run whatever's in there. Boom. We have target 1B. We have target 1A and target 1, and everybody's happy. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Now let's change this to foot. What do you think is going to happen now?
Yeah, well, it won't import the target 1, so not a lot, basically.
I think it's worse than not a lot. We get an error because there's no target.
Oh, no target. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. I took the thing with the targets out. Yep. So you can do that. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Cool. Now let's go talk about some of the quirky things. Now that I've praised MSBuild and said what it does well, let's go talk about the things that are a little bit weird. Okay, we're back. We're doing this. Let's do the weird stuff. Let's do the not so weird. Let's do one of the things that is kind of useful and cool. There are a few functions that are available inside conditions. There's actually a lot of functions. We're going to talk about some of the older functions, some things that are helpful. Okay, so project target 1 targets. Okay, so let's take this out, and I'm going to create a target here. Fallback. All right, so
kind of like a default target.
It's the what? So we're going to be playing some games with our imports as we did before, right? So I'm going to put we're going to do an error. There we go. We haven't done this before. Haven't done this in a while. Oh, is it text, error, text? I always forget. Or is it message? I never remember. I think it's text. Text should not get here. Okay. Our goal is not to see this fallback. Okay. So if we get here, that means we mess something up. All right.
Right.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and run it again. Everything in place. Clear screen, build. Prop A is foot. Therefore, only target 1 runs. Only shows it's one thing, as we've been doing. Notice the fallback target did not run because we imported our target 1 targets before it. Therefore, the targets inside here go first. Okay, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, now we've got ourselves set up. Let's say we want to have a target 2.targets. And as this error message is telling me, I don't have a target 2.targets. Okay, so if I do a clear screen and build, what do I get?
Well, the target error message.
It can't find that target. So we get a big error message saying, hey, I can't find that import. That's bad. MSBuild is upset because it wants to do the import, can't find the file, and then it gives up.
Right.
All right. Right. Oh, okay. Well, let's say we want that to be optional. All right.
If exists, yeah.
Yeah, if exists. Exactly. If exists. So we're going to put a condition on it. And there is this cool function called exists inside MSBuild. And you then have to single quote. Okay, so it says, hey, if this file exists, go ahead and import it. Okay, now take a quick notice what's going on here. One, we have quotes around the outside, which is, pretty double quotes around the outside. And then the spaces here aren't important. The exists looks like a function, which is kind of cool. And then this is quoted in here. If you don't quote it, you get weird behaviors, all right? You have to quote it, right? And this is a file. So let's run it. Okay. Does target 2 targets exist? No, we just saw the error message. It does not. So we run it and it goes error, should not get here. Why? Our import was conditioned to say, hey, if this exists, bring it in. If it does not exist, then do the fallback, which is should not get here. All right, cool. We end up doing the only target available inside our project file.
Right.
All right, cool. Now, let's change it to target 1 and target 1 in both places. Okay, so now import target 1 if it exists. Ta-da, target 1 exists, therefore we can bring it in. All right. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Also, if you want, you can do targets file include. And I'm going to bring in some of our old history. Okay, targets file at targets files. I didn't like this duplication here, so we put the variable targets files. I think this will work. I haven't done this in a long time, right? So import targets files, target1.targets, targets files, targets files. Oh, not quoted. Sorry, I think the quotes don't go in that case. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if it exists, it will run it. A reference to an item at position is not allowed in this condition. Okay. So items can't go there. But I can make it a property. Targets file. All right. Targets file. This is still an item. I've now made it a property, so make it a property. Cool?
All right.
I made a property.
Cool.
All right, so I've forgotten that. I learned again. Ta-da, look. Now you can set it as a property to bring in your project, and then you can do an exists on the property. Note, it is not quoted. If it was quoted, it would be looking for the file $targets file.
Okay.
Right? The actual file that would look like $targets file. There, you have a file on your system called targets file. That would be really strange, right?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody does that. It's almost always a mistake. All right, I want to delete that, please. Yes, off to the recycle bin. Thank you. All right, cool. So look, we could put properties in here and then do the exists on it without the quotes. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yep. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and we have our exists. So that's kind of nice. We showed we could put a property inside our exists. Let's move on to the next comparison. All right. Prop A without quotes equals foo. All right. So prop A is foot. Let's change that back to foo. Okay. So we're going to take the quotes off of this and that. And I want to show you why quotes end up being really useful. I forget. This may work. Yeah. Okay. This works. Prop A equals foo. All right. See that?
Yeah.
All right. And you're like, okay, cool. That's great. So why did you specify all the quotes all the time, Rob? Well, let's get rid of prop A completely. And then we run it. And that worked again too. I thought that was going to fail. Where does it go wrong with the quotes? There's a syntax where things get funky when you don't have quotes. And I'm trying to remember what they are. Okay, well, let's just keep going. And I'll see if I remember it again. Here's another one you might think, hey, look, prop A, right, is foo. It's defined. So, you know, like in C, as long as something is non-zero, it's true, right? So does that work here? No, it evaluates to foo instead of a Boolean. You're like, okay, yeah, foo is not a Boolean. It is not true or false. Foo is a random string. So let's try true. True is a Boolean, right?
Right.
That worked. No, right? It did. Because see, prop A does not equal foo anymore, but it does equal true. So we got our items, but we didn't get our prop B because prop B expects it to be foo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's keep looking at our items. All right, so true is a Boolean. False is a Boolean. So if we build that, does that work? Yes. Okay. That's great. Well, what else is a Boolean? Let's see if we can get our items back. Let's try yes. Is yes a Boolean? Yes. Yes is a Boolean.
Okay.
How about no? No is a Boolean as well. It's false, but it's a Boolean. All right. How about one? Is one a Boolean? No, one is not a Boolean.
Okay.
All right. So hopefully it's no surprise that zero is not a Boolean either. Okay. Zero is not a Boolean. So the words true, false, yes, no are all Booleans. You want another one that's Boolean? How about on? On is a Boolean. What do you think is false for on?
Off.
Off is another Boolean. Oh, I lied. Yes, off is a Boolean. Did not fail, and item Y is blank. Yep, so prop A. As far as I know, those are all the Booleans. True, on, yes are Booleans, and off, false, no are Booleans, but the negative. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, you're like, all right, that's kind of crazy. So you put the quotes around it to avoid the whole Boolean messes in there. You can also, I don't remember, can we do this? That is off, so I want it to be, we'll go back to true. Yeah, so quoted prop true is true.
Okay.
All right. All right, okay, great. So we've been doing a whole lot of equivalencies. How about greater than 0? Equal to 0, okay? So if I set prop A to 0, prop A, without quotes, greater than 0. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, right? Do we have math? Yeah, we have math. We have math. All right, so let's see. So prop A was not greater than 0 because we got none of those items. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
All right, so let's go to 1. This prop A value should go false, and this one now hopefully will be true.
Yep. No B,
1.
but the others.
Yep. All right, so you can also quote them. And, well, I guess we've been seeing that there. That works as well. Okay, quoting works as well. The math still works here. 7 greater than 1. Yes, and then negative, whoop. Negative 7 is not greater than 0. So we get them to be false. So everything has to be false. All right?
All right.
So cool. You can do math as strings. And this is where it gets a little bit weird. But yes, they can be strings as well. So let's do then this. Okay, we're going to go back to foo.
Okay.
All right, so prop foo is lowercase foo. Prop A is equivalent to foo. And then prop A is equivalent to, this is camel case foo, and this is all caps foo. Is that going to turn out to be true? Yes, they're all
okay.
true.
Okay.
String comparisons are not case sensitive. I think it's kind of a throwback to the fact that Windows file systems aren't case sensitive. You know, it's like, we'll just not deal with case inside strings.
Right.
Okay. All right. So prop A being foo matches all those different cases everywhere. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. That's easy. So we have math. You can quote your math and things will work. And I'm still sitting here trying to remember the case where not quoting gets you into problems. There essentially comes down to some evaluations of these equations can turn into something that is not clearly conditioned, and you get really strange errors. If you always quote them, it always works. We saw how even quoting them inside with the numbers worked as well. So
Right.
there you go. All right. Do we have Boolean logic? Yes. And I need let's give me another let's go prop C. And yeah, and quote prop C equals foo. And I gotta close my quotes. There we go. Cool.
All right.
And now both prop A and prop C have to be true for prop B to have a value. It does. Great. So we can then change this to XYZ. Prop C does not equal foo right here.
Yep. No bar. Yep.
No bar. Prop B is gone. All right, great. How about or? We can do or, not org, or. That works. Prop A is foo, prop C is foo, but only one of those is true. So if we change this to ABC, and prop B is gone again because both of these are false now. All right. So your basic conditional logic works inside these things as well. Strings still are case insensitive, which is why this has been working when I make it just lowercase foo. And now prop B is back because I changed prop C to foo. It matches, even though the casing is different. And then we get bar, but foo, prop A is not foo, so therefore it doesn't run all our extra targets down here.
Right.
All right. I think the weirdest thing about this is that on and off are Booleans, and that a property has to evaluate to a Boolean to be true if it's just here, right? This prop A, even though it has a value, right, of ABC at this point, this will not evaluate to a condition, right? So you have to compare it to something, or you have to make it a Boolean.
Right.
So I often will do this sort of thing where prop A equals true just in case, or does not equal true. You know what I'm saying? I will do this sometimes just to prevent me from getting a build failure if for some reason the prop A does not get set to something.
Right.
Right. So that's kind of a defense in depth. It's like, well, why? Because this technically, if this is a Boolean, then you know you're good to go. Right. It's true. Item X and C. All right. But then if for some reason prop A got lost because of a whole bunch of imports, you start getting more complicated. Now you have a build failure and you're like, oh, why? Instead of just a defense in depth here where, sorry. And then I'll delete this. Now prop A will not equal true. We will not get item X or C. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So that's a defense in depth sort of thing that I do just in case. The on and off, I think, are the weirdest things in all this. But you could put conditions everywhere, and that makes me happy. That really enables you to do build a lot more complex things with this, as we will see. So I think that's that. David, questions? Anything?
No, I think I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. It works the way you think it should. It generally behaves the way you want it to, and then there's a couple tricky things every once in a while to just avoid if you quote it, and always compare it against the values that you want. That's
actually a question on some of the properties. When you set in properties, if for some reason you did put quotes around them, does it matter?
Sorry, where? Let me go back.
For actual properties, right? Like the foo or whatever. If you were setting properties and you put quotes around everything.
Around here? Around foo?
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. That's prop C. All right. Are we putting out prop C? No, we're not putting out prop. Oh, let's bring prop A back.
Yep.
Oh. Prop A. Now it is foo, and this is X, Y, Z. Okay, let's see. So we have quoted foo. This is true. All right, and that foo. All right, clear screen, build, and prop A is the value quote foo quote.
Okay.
Does not equal foo.
Gotcha.
That's why we have no prop B and none of our other stuff. Right. So prop A
makes sense.
Quote foo that's its value. And so you need to quote. All right. And that brings up an interesting thing. Notice I've been using single quotes inside the double quotes.
Yep.
Technically, you could use double quotes as well, but then you have to escape them. So for us to get this to match, we'd have to do and a p o apostrophe. We have to do the XML syntax for apostrophe. I think that's it. Or is it quote? No, pause, I think that's it. Oh, it does not like that. We're going to cover this problem in the future. It becomes very tricky to put the additional quotes in there, and I will explain why in a future thing, how we handle that particular problem. But
gotcha.
I did say single quotes. You can write your conditions. Let's see if I can write a simpler condition. So XML, remember, you can have your attributes can be quoted, either double or single quoted.
Right.
Okay. And the nice thing about that fact then means you can use the other one inside without having to escape it. So you see how I can now switch to single quotes inside. Did I get something wrong? I think that's right. Let me see. No, it does not like that. All right. XML is fine with it. MSBuild is not. I haven't done this. I always do double quotes, single quotes. So interesting at position. All right. So I lied. Well, I learned something. That's what happens in this show all the time. This should work. So like in Wix, this works. You can switch the quotes and all that kind of works. MSBuild does not want to interpret these double quotes inside its condition syntax. It only wants single quotes. So use double quotes on the outside, use single quotes on the inside. And now we know why I've been doing that convention since the beginning, because that's the one that works in conditions. That's why I use double quotes everywhere inside MSBuild. Did that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
it did.
I did not expect that to happen, but there you go. We learned something extra here. Of the MSBuild will interpret these single quotes inside the condition, but not double quotes the way I expected it to. Hopefully we fixed it. I'll go back and build again. Ta-da, and we're back to the beginning with our ugly foos. Cool. All right.
Cool.
All right. I think we have hit a good spot for popping it all out. Oh, okay. Let's see. I just realized. Oh, all right. Sorry. My chat had disappeared, and I was wondering what was going on. Do both. All right. So first, Zach asked a question probably a while ago about enable and disable. So let's try enable. Prop foo to do that. I need to change this back to just it by itself. Okay. No, it's not going to work. Enable does not work. Enable disable is not it. That is not a valid Boolean expression. But on is. It cracks me up that on is true. And the second, I swear I've done both quotes in MSBuild. It's only yeah. So Zach is remembering this or bring up the same thing I said, which is the putting single quotes, double quotes. It's only inside conditions that MSBuild cares about the single quotes. That's the real kicker. So, which ends up leading you to use double quotes for your conditions, which then means it's easier to use double quotes for every attribute, because it's safer to do that than to remember, oh, in conditions, I can't do this. And you hit a build and you're running it. It's like, it's all just easier to do it that way. Just consistently use double quotes for everything, and then single quotes will work properly inside your condition. And we will deal with escaping it another time, David.
Gotcha.
Because I have to go pull out an ASCII chart, believe it or not, to make it work.
Right.
That's how fun it's going to be. All right. I think that's it. I think that's enough. I think we have covered enough conditions. I got all the questions that are out there now. Thank you all for showing up at the last minute for this show. We're going to be back next week, right, Dave? Next week?
Yep.
We'll do this again. We will pick up. I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly confident that we are out of the basics. Things that are very clearly, oh, of course that's the way it would work, with a couple, oh, why'd they do that sort of thing? And we will move into more advanced tricks inside MSBuild that I'm going to have to come up with ways of explaining why they exist, because we're going to start getting into building more useful systems as opposed to essentially a giant printf statement, which is what we've been doing so far, admittedly. Right. So, it is just a whole bunch of printfs, which hopefully will then lead us down the path of, oh, I could build more useful things. Those of you that are advanced MSBuild users, hopefully you've learned one or two things here, on and off at least, and that maybe help make your targets a little bit better. Or if you see some targets out there, you now can recognize what they're doing. And that's where we're at. So we'll be back next week, not next month, because these shows are close together given the technical issues that have been resolved. So David, thank you for joining me. And everybody else, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.